We will not stand idly by while any entity, whether it's a foreign government or corporation, seeks to criminally or unfairly undermine our country's place in the world.
The U.S. unveiled sweeping charges against Chinese tech giant Huawei on Monday, formally accusing the company and its affiliates of stealing trade secrets and violating Iran sanctions. The nearly 24 charges were filed in 2 separate indictments. First, in Washington state, authorities charged Huawei with stealing technology from T-Mobile. The investigation stemmed from a civil suit brought by T-Mobile in 2014. Back when Huawei supplied phones for T-Mobile, the company said that the Chinese firm stole secrets about its testing robot named Tappy.
Huawei entities directed employees to take photographs, take measurements, and take other protected information without permission. And finally, when all this still did not get them what they were looking for, they tried to steal Tappy's robotic arm in order for engineers in China to replicate it.
Now, the Justice Department is alleging that the theft was part of an organized effort, and that Huawei even paid bonuses to employees who successfully stole confidential information. Huawei has denied wrongdoing. And second, in an indictment unsealed in Brooklyn, the U.S. alleged that Huawei, its chief financial officer, and 2 of Huawei's affiliates were involved in violating U.S. sanctions against Iran.
Huawei, through its executives and others, repeatedly claimed to U.S. government officials and various banks that the company, its subsidiaries and partners operated in accordance with U.S. sanctions and export laws and in accordance with EU and UN sanctions. As charged in the indictment, those claims were false.
The indictment includes charges against the company's CFO, Meng Wanzhou, for her personal involvement in misleading financial institutions. Ms. Meng is the Huawei founder's daughter. She was arrested in Canada in December and is fighting extradition. The U.S.'s global campaign against Huawei has enraged China, and the latest indictments are likely to escalate tension between Washington and Beijing just as trade talks are set to resume. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross tried to make it clear that these charges are separate from trade discussions.
To be clear, these indictments are law enforcement actions and are wholly separate from our trade negotiations with China.
Huawei products have largely been blocked from the U.S., but even without access to the U.S. market, Huawei is the world's largest maker of telecom equipment and the second largest smartphone company after Samsung. Huawei poses a threat to the U.S., officials say, because it's positioning itself as a global leader in 5G, the ultra-fast wireless technology that will soon be connected to everything, but that could also be vulnerable to cyber attacks.